Hello everyone. Let us begin a new concept today, acceptance. So up till now we have discussed everything about offer, types of offer, rules of offer, lapse of offer. Let us continue our discussion. In today's session we are going to discuss what is acceptance, the definition of acceptance and a few essentials of valid acceptance. What kind of questions can be asked from this part? So generally case-based questions are asked, but yes, a theory question of 6 to 7 marks can also be asked on essentials of a valid acceptance. There are a few case laws which we are going to discuss today, and all these case laws are important for exam. All right. So let us discuss what is acceptance and the essential elements of acceptance. Section 2 clause B defines acceptance. It's very easy to remember. Section 2 clause A defines offer and 2 clause B defines acceptance. Generally, definitions are covered under section 2. So offer is the starting point of contract. That is why offer is discussed under section 2 clause A, and after offer you need to accept it, only then a valid contract can come into existence. So the acceptance is discussed under section 2 clause B. So this is how you can remember the section numbers. Now, what is the equation of contract? What have we discussed up till now? Yes, equation of contract is offer plus acceptance plus enforceability. Offer is the starting point of contract. This offer must be properly communicated. When the other party comes to know about the offer, if he wants to accept it, he must communicate his acceptance. Once the offer is accepted, if there is enforceability, it will become a valid contract. So acceptance is also one of the most important elements of a valid contract. Acceptance is nothing but giving consent to the offer. You are accepting, it means you are agreeing to the terms of the offer. You are giving your consent. Another word for consent you can write down, assent. Another word is assent. So I offer to sell my pen to you for 5,000 rupees. It's a stylus pen. Will you buy it for 5,000 rupees? You say, yes, ma'am, we will buy it for 5,000. You are giving me your consent. You are giving me your assent. It means my offer is accepted. I offer to sell my car to you for 5 lakhs. You say, no, ma'am, I'm not interested in buying this car for 5 lakhs. My offer is rejected. There is no acceptance. It will not become a valid contract. So acceptance means giving assent, and it is only after acceptance that a valid contract comes into existence. Ma'am, just a minute. Isn't it just an agreement right now? Like you had explained it earlier. Offer plus acceptance is agreement. Then why do you keep saying that only then a valid contract comes into existence? Why don't you say that an agreement comes into existence? Because students, there are many occasions wherein we assume that there is enforceability. Like in case of business, commercial transaction, we assume there is enforceability. We are studying business laws. So I am assuming that we are talking about business transactions. So we assume that there is enforceability. So that is why I always say offer, acceptance, it becomes a contract, because I agree, we know that offer plus acceptance plus enforceability, but enforceability need not be specified in the question every time. So you have to get used to it. Enforceability will, in 99% of the, at least exam point of view questions, they will not specify the concept of enforceability. That is something which we need to assume. Okay, so offer needs to be accepted, only then it will be a valid contract. Section 2 clause B of the Indian Contract Act defines acceptance. Let us first read the definition as it is, then I will break it down, and then we will discuss it in detail. Okay, when a person to whom the proposal is made, when a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted. What is the meaning of proposal? We had discussed this, yes, do you remember? Very good, students, very good. Proposal means offer. When a person to whom the proposal is made, and I say they are talking about offeree, yes? Do you remember we had discussed the person who gives the offer is known as the offerer, and the person to whom the offer is given is known as the offeree. So when a person to whom the offer is given, that is, they are talking about offeree, signifies his assent. What is the meaning of signify? Communicate, makes it known to the other person. Yes. So signifies means communicate. How will this communication take place? Yes, we can say by words, oral or written, or by action. So we wrote a letter giving our acceptance, we typed an email, or we sent a WhatsApp message, or we called that person, or we went to that person's place and gave our acceptance face to face. Sometimes it may be implied from our action, like boarding a bus, that is implied acceptance. Striking of hammer, that is implied acceptance. So in some or the other manner, we need to communicate our acceptance. Only when the other person knows that we have accepted his offer, a valid contract can come into existence. Yes. So a person to whom the proposal is made. So in simple words, when the offeree signifies his assent, it means he communicates, he makes it known that I have given my assent, my consent, then the proposal is said to be accepted. Let's read it again. So when will the first break come? When a person to whom the proposal is made. Okay, so this is how you will learn. Break the definition and learn. When the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent, then the proposal is said to be accepted. So there are three parts in which we have divided this definition. When a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted. Look at my actions. These actions will help you to memorize the definition. Let's do it together. Don't feel ashamed. We are not, studying it in a very kiddish manner. This is how we learn the definition. So trust the procedure. When a person, do it with me, when a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted. This signifies that there is an agreement, it is a contract. Yes. When a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, proposal is said to be accepted. One last time. When a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted. Will you remember it now? So when a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted. It is only upon acceptance of the offer that a contract comes into existence. We know that agreement comes into existence, but every time in the question, they will not specify that there is enforceability or not, that we have to understand. That is why they don't mention anything about enforceability. They simply say that when the offer is accepted, it becomes a contract. Acceptance may be either in words, oral or written, or it may be implied by action, or in other words, you can write conduct. I am giving you options. So in the exam, if you write conduct, that is correct. If you write actions, that is also correct. So acceptance may be expressed in words, either oral or written. So you can write a letter, an email, you can go and communicate your acceptance face to face, or it is understood from our actions. Can you give me examples of action? Yes, we just discussed it. Let's recall, yes. Okay, so boarding a bus, striking of hammer, very good. Okay, there is a case law which we had discussed where the acceptance is implied. Do you remember that case law? We discussed it in offer. Implied acceptance means it is understood from our action. What is the name of that case law? If you said Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company, your answer is correct. Very good, students. Let us now discuss the essentials of acceptance. So these are the requirements of a valid acceptance. Acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. Most important element for exam. Maximum case-based questions are asked on this concept. Please highlight it. Highlight this if you have a red pen or a red marker. Highlight it as very important for exam. Acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. What does it mean? Offer must be accepted as it is, without any change, variation, modification. If I ask you, do you want to buy this pen for 5,000? You should accept my offer as it is. You cannot say, no, no, ma'am, 5,000 is a lot. Will you give it for 3,000? Will that be valid acceptance? No. What will that be in fact? Exactly, you are brilliant. It will be counter offer, and counter offer does not amount to acceptance. It is a new offer altogether. So acceptance must be absolute. What is the meaning of absolute? As it is. In fact, it is said that acceptance must be a mirror image of offer. See, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you see yourself as it is, right? So you don't see that some other person is standing, or you don't see that you're wearing very fancy clothes. Whatever is reality, only that is seen, right? So acceptance must be a mirror image of offer. It means the acceptance must be given as it is, without making any change, modification, variation in the terms of offer. If we make changes in the terms of offer, that is not acceptance. In fact, it's a counter offer. Okay. Offer must be accepted as it is. As it is my keyword, because that is the meaning of the word absolute. So acceptance must be given as it is, without any reservation, variation, condition. I will accept. Let me give you an example of reservation. Okay, it's a very interesting point. Let's give you an example of reservation. X asks Y, will you buy my motorcycle? I will buy your motorcycle provided you buy my cycle for 2,000 rupees. So X offered to sell his motorcycle. He said, will you buy it for 20,000 rupees? He said, I will buy your motorcycle provided you buy my cycle for 2,000 rupees. So here you are making a reservation that I will buy provided you buy this. This is not acceptance. In fact, this is a counter offer. And counter offer does not amount to acceptance. It's a new offer altogether. Okay. So offer must be accepted as it is, without any reservation, modification, variation. The acceptance must be a mirror image of the offer. Even the slightest deviation, what is the meaning of deviation? Change. To deviate means to shift, change. Any deviation, change or shift in the terms of offer makes the acceptance invalid. I'll give you more examples. Let's read the explanation first. A conditional offer, a conditional or qualified acceptance is not acceptance. It's just a counter offer. Conditional, I will buy your cycle, I will buy your motorcycle provided you buy my cycle. That's just a counter offer. So that is conditional. Qualified acceptance, you are putting some qualification, variation, reservation, condition. Qualification, I will buy this if that happens. So you're putting some kind of variation, qualification. You're qualifying the offer. Okay, that is nothing but a counter offer. It's not acceptance. So you can write over here, it's a counter offer. Counter offer does not amount to acceptance. It is a new offer altogether. L offers to sell his scooter for 40,000. M says, I will pay 30,000 in cash and balance in installments. So you may argue, ma'am, this is acceptance. No, he's agreeing to buy, na? But don't you think that he is making certain changes, variation in the terms of the offer? I will pay 30,000 in cash and remaining in installments. What if L doesn't want to accept this? So he can say, no, 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 no. You pay 40,000 cash only, nothing in installments. So can I say that if you make certain changes, modification on your own, it may not be acceptable to the other party? So this is not acceptance. In fact, this is a counter offer. How can you make changes on your own? The offer was to pay 40,000 cash. You are saying, no, I will pay only 30,000 cash and remaining I will pay in installment. This is not acceptance. You are making changes in the terms of the original offer. This is a counter offer. Counter offer does not amount to acceptance. Yes, it is now open to L whether he wants to accept this counter offer or not. So he may say, yeah, it's all right, yeah, at least I was able to sell the scooter. Okay, you pay 30,000 now and then remaining you pay later on. So he may accept it or he may reject. No, no, no. I had offered to sell for 40,000 cash. I will not accept 30,000 and then balance it. Why should I accept? You're making some changes. These are variations. I'm not open to it. So my counter offer is rejected. So this is nothing but a counter offer. It may be either accepted or rejected by L. Did you understand? Yes, did you understand? So in this case, offer must be accepted as it is without making any qualification, variation, modification in the terms of the original offer. Even the slightest deviation will make the acceptance invalid. In fact, that is not acceptance only. It is a counter offer. Counter offer does not amount to acceptance. It's a new offer altogether. I repeated all this many times so that it is now registered in your mind. You need to include all these 4 points in your answer. So please write over there, learn. You need to learn this. Now, how will you learn it? First, copy these 4 sentences 2 times. Just copy it. Don't worry about learning. Copy these 4 sentences 2 times in your notebook. Then you close the textbook. Try to recall those points and then you write without seeing. Compare your answer with what is given in the textbook. Find out where you went wrong. And I'm sure students, you will not forget that till the exam. So trust the method. Yes. So these 4 points are to be learned by heart. You have to write all the 4 points in case a question is asked on counter offer or acceptance. A offers to sell his car for rupees 2 lakhs, but B is offering to buy it for 1,50,000. He's saying, no, 2 lakhs is a lot. I will buy for 1,50,000. Is this acceptance? You are making certain changes, modification in the terms of the original offer. This is not acceptance. In fact, this is a counter offer. Now it is open to A, whether he wants to accept it or not. I would like to ask you a question, students. Let's see if you're able to answer it correctly. Okay, now this is my question. Listen to it carefully. A offered to sell his car to B for rupees 5 lakhs. B says, no, 5 lakhs is a lot. I will buy it for 4 lakhs. A says, no, I will not sell it for 4 lakhs. My final price is 5 lakhs. B says, all right, then I will buy it for 5 lakhs. My question is this acceptance? You want me to repeat the question once again? Okay. So A offered to sell his car to B for 5 lakhs. B is saying, no, 5 lakhs is a lot. I will buy it for 4 lakhs. He's bargaining. A says, no, I will not sell it for 4 lakhs. B says, all right, then I will buy it for 5 lakhs. My question is this acceptance? Think about it. Think. Now, if you have, thought of this answer, then it is correct. I'll discuss the solution with you. A offered to sell his car to B for 5 lakhs. B saying, no, no, I don't want to buy it for 5 lakhs. Can I say the original offer is rejected and a new offer is made? This is nothing but a counter offer. A says, no, I will not sell it for 5 lakh rupees. He rejected the counter offer. B says, all right, then I will buy it for 5 lakhs. This is not acceptance. In fact, this is also a counter offer. So this is also a counter offer. Now it is open to A, whether he wants to sell it for 5 lakhs or whether he says, no, you're too confused, I will sell it to someone else. So now it is open to A, whether he wants to sell this car or not. Okay. So this is nothing but a counter offer. So it was a very nice question. I thought of discussing it with you in the class itself. When we solve this in the compiler, you will now know how to frame the answer. Yes? Okay. If you have written this answer, you can also write the explanation. It is a counter offer. It is now open to A, whether he wants to accept this offer or not. Okay, it is open to A whether he wants to accept it or. Okay. So this was counter offer. You made notes, right? Okay. Keep on writing these examples so it will help you in the exam also, and also it will help you while revising. Acceptance must be given only by the person to whom the offer is made. Can you tell me who can accept a general offer? General offer can be accepted by anyone who has knowledge of the offer. Who can accept a specific offer? It can be accepted only by the person to whom it is made. Yes. So general offer can be accepted by any person who has knowledge of the offer, whereas specific offer can be accepted by the person to whom it is made. So only the person to whom it is made or the person who knows about the offer can accept it. A very interesting example. This can be asked in the exam. Okay, they may convert this into a question. Also highlight the name of this case law. You need to learn the name. So learn the name. No need to write down the explanation in the exam, but you need to know the name of this case. Okay. Now let me discuss this case law with you separately and then I will read it from the textbook. Mr. X sold his business to Y. Okay. Mr. X sold his business to Y. But this fact was not known by an old customer Z. He did not know that X has sold his business to Y. Now X placed an order with X by name. By name means he mentioned, X, I want to buy from you. So Z placed an order with X by name. He said, I want to buy it from you. In fact, Y supplied the goods because Y had purchased X's business. So Y supplied the goods. Z refused to accept the goods. Is he right in refusing to accept the goods? Can you tell me Z made an offer to X? So who can accept it? X only. Can Y accept and send the goods to Z? Offer was never made to Y. When offer was not made to Y, how can he accept it? So in this case, the offer was, that is why I specified Z placed an order with X by name. the offer was given to X, the offer could be accepted by X only. So this is a specific offer. It can be accepted only by the person to whom it is made. Y cannot accept and supply the goods. And Y is also not X's agent. He has purchased the goods, so he's not acting as an agent. So in this case, Z is right in refusing to accept the goods from Y. So over here, X sold his business to Y, but this fact was not known to an old customer, Z. Z placed an order for certain goods to X by name. So please highlight by name. It means that he wanted to enter into contract with X only. He placed the order with X only. Y supplied the goods. Z refused to accept the goods and pay the price. It was held that there was no contract between Y and Z because Z never made an offer to Y. He made an offer to X and X alone could accept it. He was not liable to accept the goods and pay for them. Boulton versus Jones, very important for exam. Acceptance must be communicated. Yes, acceptance must be communicated. Now, let's say, for example, this is a very funny one, okay? X offered to sell his car to Y for rupees 5 lakhs. After 1 week, Y is complaining, Arey X, you did not supply the car. X is like, but why you never sent me the acceptance? Oh, in my mind, I was sending you the waves. Didn't you receive them? See, I was sending mental messages. Didn't you receive my acceptance? Is this valid communication? No. Acceptance must be properly communicated. Properly means either by words, spoken, written, or by action. Do something which will communicate your acceptance to the other person. Only when he comes to know about your acceptance, it is a valid contract. Acceptance is complete only when it is properly communicated to the offerer. It may be communicated either by words or by action. So by words, it may be by letters, email, fax, face-to-face communication. By conduct, it may be action like boarding a bus, striking of hammer, Carlyle versus Carbolic smoke ball. Acceptance must be communicated to whom? Okay. X gave an offer to Y. X is the offerer and Y is the offeree. If Y is accepting the offer, Y should communicate this to whom? To the offerer. Yes. So acceptance must be communicated to the offerer. By whom? It can be communicated either by the offeree or any authorized person. So there is a difference. Please pay attention. Acceptance must be communicated to the offerer and not his agent. Are you getting me? So the communication must be to the offerer. But by whom? Either by the offeree or authorized person. Now let's say that Mr. Y is in US. Okay, he stays in USA. But he wants to buy cars in India. So he has authorized a person to accept the offer to purchase the cars, to enter into contracts on his behalf. So acceptance may be communicated either by him or any other person. So you can say, no, my agent will come and then he will, tell you whether the offer is accepted or not. So offer was given to Y. Okay, offer was given to Y, but it can be accepted either by, it can be communicated either by Y or authorized person. Now students, please note that we are not talking about who can accept. We are talking about who can communicate the acceptance. Acceptance will be by Y only, okay? X gave an offer to Y. Acceptance can be by Y only. But communication, informing the other person, can be done either by Y or his authorized agent. So Y can give instructions to the authorized agent that you go and tell that I want to buy the car. You go and tell him. So in this case, Please note that these 2 points, they are very different. Specific offer can be accepted. That decision can be taken by the offeree only, the person to whom the offer is made. That decision, whether to accept or not, can be taken by the offeree only. But the second point talks about communication. Who can communicate that, yes, I want to buy the car? That communication can take place either by the offeree or any other person, authorized person. I repeat, please pay attention. Who can accept the offer? Offeree. But who can communicate that to the other person? Either offeree or any other person. So the decision can be taken by offeree only, but communication can be either by offeree or any other authorized person. Sometimes students get confused in these 2 points. Ma'am, they talk about the same thing. They are not discussing the same concept. They are talking about 2 different aspects of acceptance. The first talks about who can accept. That decision can be taken by offeree only because he is the person to whom the offer is made. That decision can be taken by offeree, but the communication can be either by the offeree or authorized person. Now, acceptance may be communicated either by the offeree himself or authorized person. This is important for exam. Case law is also important. And this case law, you need to know the facts. Even if you don't remember the name, that is fine, but you need to know the facts. It can be asked as a case-based question. So please highlight this as important for case-based question. I would love it if you write the name of the case law also in the exam. And this is extremely, extremely important for case-based, very frequently asked in the exam. Important for case-based question. This is one case law where you need to learn the name as well as you need to know the facts so that you can write it in your own words in the exam. I'm not expecting you to write the case law word to word as it is. I'm okay if you write it in your own words, okay? But you need to know the facts properly so that you can write it in your own words. Now let us go through the first case law, Brogden versus Metropolitan Railway Company. Mr. Brogden wrote a draft agreement offering to supply coal to the company. So Mr. Brogden drafted an agreement offering to supply coal to the company. Now the manager of the company read this agreement. Oh, he is offering to supply coal at a very good price. He wrote a letter of acceptance, put it in his table drawer and forgot to post it. After 1 week, the manager is calling Mr. Brogden. Arey, you didn't supply coal, I was waiting for the delivery. But sir, you never confirmed the acceptance. Oh, I forgot to post the letter. But you should have supplied. Now, who would have rejected such a good proposal from you? You were ready to supply at such good price. I would have definitely accepted. You should have sent the coal. Do you really think Mr. B would have sent the coal without receiving any acceptance? No. Acceptance must be communicated to the other party. A mere mental determination, I wanted to accept, I even wrote a letter. That mere mental determination is not acceptance. Acceptance must be communicated either by words or action, but you need to communicate your acceptance. In Brogden versus Metropolitan Railway, a supplier sent a draft agreement offering to supply coal to Metropolitan Railway. The manager of the company wrote the word accepted, put it in his table drawer, and he forgot to post it. Is this valid acceptance? No, because acceptance was not communicated. No contract was made because acceptance was not communicated. This is the judgment. Superb case law and very important for exam, Powell versus Lee. Mr. Powell applied for the job of a headmaster in a school. The committee took his interview. They all decided to appoint Mr. Powell. So all the committee members, they discussed that, yeah, he's a very good candidate. They decided to accept his offer. Mr. Lee, one of the school managers in that committee, He told Mr. Powell about acceptance. Arey, your interview went very well. They are all very happy. They will appoint you only. Mr. Lee communicated without any authority to reveal the acceptance. Powell was so happy. Arey, they are going to hire me. He did not apply in any other school. The managers, however, appointed someone else. Powell got angry. But Mr. Lee told me that I am going to be appointed. I did not apply elsewhere. Now I lost the opportunity of applying in some other place. He filed a case for recovery of compensation. He filed a case for damages in loss of salary. Because of, I was waiting for your reply. I did not apply elsewhere. I left my current job. I thought you will give me your acceptance. I was waiting for 2 months. I was just at home waiting for your acceptance. Mr. Lee had told me I was that they all liked me. I will be appointed as the headmaster. Can he claim damages? Answer is very clear. Mr. Lee did not have any authority to accept. Will that acceptance be valid? No. Acceptance must be communicated either by the offeree or authorized person. Is he an authorized person? No. Because this person is not authorized, his acceptance, which he communicated, that is not valid acceptance. So in this case, Mr. Powell actually lost the case. Mr. P applied for the post of a headmaster in a school. The managing committee, they passed a resolution selecting P for the post. So they internally decided that yes, we will appoint him. But this decision was not communicated to P. L, a member, without any authority to reveal P's appointment. He informed P about the decision. Subsequently, the management committee appointed someone else. P filed a suit against the committee. He claimed damages for loss of salary. Is he entitled? Who won the case? Mr. Lee won the, the managing committee, they were not Mr. Lee, but managing committee won the case. P's suit was not maintainable. Not maintainable means it was dismissed. There was no authorized communication of intention on the part of the committee or authorized person. So can I say that acceptance was not validly communicated? This will not be a valid acceptance. Silence does not amount to acceptance. Acceptance must be communicated. X proposed marriage to Y. Will you marry me? And if you don't reply by today evening 5 o'clock, I will assume that you have accepted my offer. Can I also make a variation? Yes, we had discussed this. Do you remember? Okay. Can I also make a variation in this? X proposed to Y. Will you marry me? Please reply in 7 days' time. This is a variation that we are discussing. X proposed to Y. Will you marry me? Please reply in 7 days' time. Y did not reply. After 7 days, X came with their marriage card and Y is like, huh? But I did not tell you anything. I did not commit. I did not accept your offer. X said, I thought that तेरे silence में ही तेरी हाँ है. I thought that your silence is accepted. Maybe you're feeling shy. Silence does not amount to acceptance. Acceptance must be communicated. So X, please don't be under the impression that if Y does not reply for 7 days, then her silence amounts to acceptance. No, silence does not amount to acceptance. Acceptance must be communicated. Acceptance must be communicated either by words, actions. Uncommunicated or mere mental acceptance is not acceptance. I thought of accepting, oh, but I forgot. I forgot to tell you that mere mental determination, mental acceptance is not acceptance. Acceptance must be communicated. Can I say that these points are related? Silence does not amount to acceptance. Acceptance must be communicated. Or you can say acceptance must be communicated. That is why silence does not amount to acceptance. Both the points are connected. Very interesting case law. Uncle Feldhaus versus Bentley. Name of this case law is important. Facts are also important. You need to know in your own words. No need to learn, just in your own words. Let's go through the facts. Uncle Feldhaus and nephew Feldhaus. Now, uncle wanted to buy the horse from his nephew. So he wrote a letter offering to buy the horse of the nephew. And let's see what he wrote in the letter. If I hear no more about him, I will consider the horse mine at 30 pounds and 15 pence. Now he wrote a letter saying that if I hear no more about the horse, I will consider it. I'm not going into the details, okay? I have already given you hints earlier. If I hear no more about him, I will consider the horse mine at 30 pounds and 15 pence. Now the nephew had already catalogued that horse to be auctioned. So he ran to the auctioneer, Mr. Bindley. Mr. Bindley, Mr. Bindley, don't sell the horse. I have already sold it to my uncle. But later, when the auction actually started, Bindley forgot about it and by mistake, he auctioned the horse. Uncle Feldhaus got very angry. How can you commit this mistake when I had clearly said that I want to buy the horse? Mr. Bindley, you were instructed not to sell this horse. Why did you sell it? Mr. Feldhaus, that is Uncle Feldhaus, he filed a case claiming the ownership of the horse. He said, I am the owner. This sale is not valid. I am the owner. My question is Uncle Feldhaus truly the owner, or is the sale by Mr. Bindley valid? Let's go through the facts once again. Uncle Feldhaus wrote a letter to his nephew saying that if I hear no more about this horse, I will consider it mine for 30 pounds and 15 pence. Now, nephew had already catalogued that horse to be sold by auction. He instructed Mr. Bindley not to sell the horse, but Mr. Bindley sold the horse by mistake. My question is the sale valid, or is Uncle Feldhaus truly the owner and the sale is not valid? Is Uncle Feldhaus truly the owner? Answer these questions. Is the sale valid? And is Uncle Feldhaus the owner? There are two questions. Did the nephew communicate his acceptance to the uncle? In his mind, he thought that, okay, uncle wants to buy the horse. Okay, I will sell it to him. He's my uncle, no? In his mind, he wanted to sell. But did he communicate this to the uncle? A mere mental determination or uncommunicated acceptance is not acceptance. So in this case, Uncle Feldhaus is not the owner. Okay, he is not the owner because his offer was never accepted. The communication of acceptance was not made. So the offer was not accepted. He is not the owner. But there is one more flaw. There is one more point that we can discuss in this case law. Can you identify that for me? If I hear no more about him, I will consider the horse mine. Do you remember the marriage example which I just discussed? If you don't reply by today evening 5 o'clock, I will assume, okay, the original example which I discussed. If you don't reply by today evening 5 o'clock, I will assume that you have accepted my offer. Is that acceptance? Offer must not contain a term, the non-compliance of which amounts to acceptance. In fact, this is not a valid offer also. Are you able to relate it to that point which we discussed? Yes. And if you thought about it, brilliant students, brilliant. I'm so proud of you. This is not a valid offer also. Not a valid offer. And there is no acceptance. It's not communicated. So it is not a valid offer. There is no communication of acceptance. Even if the acceptance was communicated, it was not a valid offer. Under no circumstance can a valid contract come into existence. Uncle Feldhaus was a builder in London. He, by a letter, offered to buy the horse belonging to nephew. Uncle Feldhaus wrote, "If I hear no more about him, I will consider the horse mine at 30 pounds and 15 pence. The horse was catalogued to be sold. Nephew asked the auctioneer, Mr. Bindley, not to sell the horse as it was already sold. But Bindley, however, sold the horse. Uncle Feldhaus claimed the ownership, saying, I am the owner, I have purchased it. It was held, now what is the judgment? It was held that the acceptance must be communicated clearly. It cannot be imposed by silence. Although nephew was interested in completing the sale, there was no communication of that intention. Therefore, sale by Mr. Bindley is valid. He cannot be sued upon. Okay, so sale is valid. Yes, sale is valid. What was the other fault that we found in this? Offer must not contain a term the non-compliance of which amounts to accept. This is also another flaw. Just write it so that you don't forget it during revision time. This is a small exception. Okay, this is a small exception. Mr. A subscribed for a weekly magazine for 1 year. Every year, the magazine company would send one magazine every week. Okay, so he subscribed for a weekly magazine. He would get a magazine every week for 1 year. 1 year got over, but the company continued to send the magazine and he also continued reading them. This went on for 5 years. After 5 years, the magazine company, okay, they claimed money from him saying, "Arey, you have used our service for 5 years. You have read the magazine for 5 years, pay." He said, "Why should I pay? I had subscribed only for 1 year. You were sending it for 5 years. It's not my fault. Why should I pay?" The company filed a case. You tell me, can they recover money from A? Don't think from only customer point of view. Huh? Don't say, "Ma'am, it was the company's fault. Why they kept sending?" Don't think. Think from point of view of both the parties. See, if you have used the services, you should pay for it. Your silence showed your acceptance. See, if let's take the example of Netflix. Okay, Netflix. If suppose you have subscribed for Netflix, earlier what would happen? Now you need to renew it every month, right? Earlier what would happen? Once you subscribe, automatically every month they would deduct the amount unless you unsubscribe for it. So now also in many apps, it is automatically subscribed again. Yes, automatically you will the subscription will renew unless you stop it. Now your silence of not unsubscribing gives a message that I would like to continue my subscription. Your silence amounts to acceptance. So this is a small exception. Over here, silence does amount to acceptance. You were quiet, it means that you want to continue with our subscription. If you wanted to unsubscribe, you should have done that too. So here, silence is the evidence of acceptance. If the offeree by his previous conduct indicates that silence is acceptance, he did not unsubscribe. It means he wants to continue with it. Then it is acceptance. In this case, silence is acceptance. You will have to pay for it. A subscribed for a weekly magazine for 1 year. After the expiry, the magazine company continued sending him magazine for 5 years. And he also read them. But now he refuses to pay. Conclusion, what is the evidence? What is the judgment? In this case, A will be liable to pay because the continued use shows implied acceptance. Here, silence amounts to accept. Here, silence is acceptance. So this is an exception, right? Can it be asked in the exam? Yes. Has it been asked up till now? No, it has not been asked till now, but it can be asked. It's a very good question. Acceptance must be in the mode specified. If you feel, oh ma'am, I'm very tired, we studied so much, you can always take a break, continue watching from where you left. Okay, so you can take a break if you want, but if you are not tired, let's continue. Acceptance must be in the mode specified. We discussed this. Do you remember the example? X offered to sell his motorcycle to Y, let's say for rupees 20,000. And he says, listen, Y, send your reply by courier only. So the mode of acceptance is specified. Yes. Now, in this case, let's say Y sends courier. Very good. Happy situation. We wanted your acceptance by courier and you sent by courier only. Very good. We are very happy. Problem arises when Y sends regular post. Mr. X has two options. He's a very sunky fellow, crazy, mad. I had asked you to send by courier. Why did you send by regular post? Reject. Reject, I don't want it. He rejects the other mode. Other mode in this case is regular. He rejects the regular post. He rejects it. But this rejection must be within a reasonable time. Huh? You cannot say after 6 months, now I want to reject. This must be within a reason. Ma'am, we have written this. So, multiple practice will help you to master the language of law. Write it again. Write it with me. Write it along with me. You must communicate within a reasonable time that I am rejecting it. Or he can accept the other mode. You can accept it. All right. It's fine. Even if it's not sent by courier, at least he confirmed by regular post. At least I was able to sell the motorcycle. It's okay. But then later, you cannot cancel it. Okay. Later cannot cancel. Your accept. Once you accept the other mode, then you cannot cancel it later. Okay. And we have discussed this. So it must be in the mode specified. Otherwise, the offerer has an option to reject the other mode. Offerer has an option either to accept or reject the deviated acceptance. So here he can either accept it or reject the deviated acceptance. Okay. If he accepts the deviated acceptance, in my example, it is regular post. Okay. In my example, regular post. So it will be easy for you to relate. So if he accepts, then a valid contract is concluded. So he accepts, and you can say it's a valid contract. A valid contract is concluded. But what if he rejects? Yeah, he can reject, but you need to inform the acceptor within a reasonable time that I'm rejecting it. If he fails to inform, then we will assume that you have accepted that other mode. If you fail, then we assume that you have accepted that other mode. Here you can write failure to inform amounts to accept. If you fail to inform, then we will assume that you have accepted. Okay. So this completes our note. Time. What if time is specified? Time for what, ma'am? Time for acceptance. Now X offers to sell his flat to Y. And he says, please reply within 7 days. Reply within 7 days. Time for acceptance is specified. Then the acceptance must be within that specified time. But ma'am, nothing was specified. Then reasonable. What is reasonable? It is not given in law. It depends on the facts and circumstances of the case. If the time is specified, then the acceptance must be given within the specified time. Time is not specified, no. It is not specified. Then the acceptance must be given within a reasonable time. What is reasonable? It's not defined in law. It depends on the facts and circumstances of the case. Now you tell me, X in the month of June offered to sell his flat to Y. Y is giving his acceptance in the month of December. Is it valid acceptance? No. 6 months gap. It's not reasonable. This is not valid acceptance. It will not be a valid contract. X is not bound by the acceptance as it was not given within a reasonable time. Okay. Acceptance must be given before offer lapses, before it comes to an end, before the offer comes to an end. Acceptance must be given before the offer lapses or it is withdrawn. There are two aspects here. You must give your acceptance before the offer lapses or it comes to an end. Now, X offered to sell his car to Y and he asks Y to reply within 7 days. After 7 days, offer lapses. Okay, after 7 days, offer lapses. Mr. Y, lazy fellow, he gave his acceptance in 10 days. Is this acceptance valid? No, it's invalid acceptance. Offer has already lapsed after 7 days. Ma'am, time was not specified. Offer will lapse within a reasonable time. Then you cannot give your acceptance. So acceptance must be given before the offer lapses, before it comes to an end. What is the meaning of withdrawn? X offered to sell his car to Y, but then later he changed his mind and he said, no, I don't want to offer. He withdrew the offer by a speed post. So he wrote a letter of withdrawal. I don't want to sell my car. I've changed my mind. But Y says nothing doing. Once you give the offer, I will accept it. He sent his letter of acceptance. Is it valid acceptance? No. Offer is already withdrawn. You knew about it. It's not a valid acceptance. Now, X offered to sell his car. Later, he withdrew by speed post. Y read the letter of withdrawal. He knew about it. In spite of that, he gave his acceptance. Then it's not valid acceptance. After receipt of speed post, Y sent his acceptance. It's invalid because it was made after the withdrawal of offer. I know what you are thinking. Ma'am, let's see. X gave the offer. Then he also sent a letter withdrawing the offer. Okay. But before Y received the withdrawal speed post, he had already posted his acceptance. Ma'am, then what will happen? If you had this doubt that X gave the offer, then he also withdrew it. But Y had already posted his acceptance before knowing about the withdrawal. Then, ma'am, what will happen? See, offer was accepted. A valid contract now comes into existence. This withdrawal will have no effect. So a valid contract will come into existence. So can I say that your withdrawal must be before Y posts his letter of acceptance, before Y gives acceptance? Ma'am, how will we know when he is going to post and how? That we will study later, communication of offer and acceptance. See, these things nobody knows in advance. Only when a case is filed in the court, then you start digging and you frame a timeline. Only then you will understand. In the beginning, nobody knows when that other person is going to send acceptance. It's only later that we try to find the dates when it was letter was posted, etc. Expressed acceptance. Expressed means words, either spoken or written. Now, words may be letter, fax, email, oral words, like you can take off face to face, okay? Oral words, face to face, or call, face to face, or phone call. Okay, it is written. It is written. I'll just highlight it properly. I'll just highlight. Just see this. Written will include letter, email, fax. Oral words will include telephone, face-to-face, etc. Okay. Implied and understood from action. It is made otherwise than in words. It is inferred. What is the meaning of inferred? Inferred means understood from the conduct or circumstances. Carlyle versus Carboli. She used the product as per the printed instructions. That is implied acceptance. Boarding a bus. Yes. Boarding a bus. Auction. Striking of hammer. Dropping a coin in the weighing machine. It conveys acceptance. Have you ever done that? We used to have this, these weighing machines, they were kept in railway stations. So my grandfather, whenever we used to, pass that railway station, I used to ask him for 1 rupee. Then it increased to 2 rupees. So we would stand on that and we would put a coin and a small ticket would come. Our weight was mentioned on the front, and on the back side, they would write some message or, good fortune, or you are this kind of person. So the railways would put a small message. I don't think that you must have ever seen it, but it was like a small rectangular cardboard, and me and my sister, we used to stand on that machine and then we would see our weight, compare, and then try to compare with what was done last time. And after that, we would turn on the backside and read the message that was written on it. So sometimes good fortune, or you are such kind of a person, something. It was fun actually. So that dropping a coin in the weighing machine is acceptance, because the weighing machine is giving an offer. See, I am ready to tell you your weight. You come, stand. So we stand, we put the coin. That is acceptance. So dropping a coin is acceptance to use the weighing machine kept by the vending company. So students, with this, we come to an end of today's session on acceptance. And I hope you had a great time learning it. In my next session, I will start one very interesting topic, communication of offer and acceptance. We will study one example and you can use that, and I will give you a format. You can use that format in any question asked on this topic. You will never go wrong. So wait for my next lecture and I will see you there with the topic communication of offer and acceptance. In the meantime, whenever you attend the lecture in the evening, I don't know the time when you are watching it, but on the same day, make it a point that you also learn the topics. Just studying is not sufficient. You need to learn it. And how will you learn it? In a notebook, first just copy, write and copy and write. Then close the notebook. Try to recall how many ever points you can. Then you compare your answer with what is given in the textbook. Try to find mistakes. And then slowly your language will improve, your writing skills will improve. You will be able to recall the provisions. Because you have written it once, you will remember it for a longer time. And only then you proceed to the next topic. Okay. So do this for every lecture. After we finish acceptance, it will now be time for you to revise Unit 1A and 1B. And then we will discuss questions from the compiler. So start revising, start studying, and then we will discuss the compiler questions after this. There you will get an idea as to what kind of questions are asked, what is to be written in provisions, how to decide what is to be written in provisions and analysis, how to frame the answer. I will teach you everything. But for that, your theory needs to be very strong. So will you start revising from today? Promise? Okay. So I will meet you in my next lecture and we will discuss communication of offer and acceptance.